Well, I was probably about your age. I was just graduating college, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting ready to graduate college, and I'm wondering what do we want to do? I mean, I went through college, and I got my math degree, and I got my physical education degree, and yeah, I like those things, and I can be a teacher, but I'm not sure I really want to do that right now. And so I'm thinking, I don't know, and so I go see this movie, and the movie's called Top Gun, and I'm telling you, as I'm watching this movie, I'm going, that needs to be me. It needs to be me. And so I'm watching it and I'm going, this is cool. So I just see the way that people act, the way they really take their job serious. I'm looking at them and I'm saying, you know what, the hard work, the physical nature of the job, I love. I love the order and the discipline that they have to do this. And as I'm watching the movie, I at the time I really liked kind of how arrogant they were. And even though now I look back and say, might have been a little bit too arrogant, but at the time it appealed to me. And so I'm thinking all this stuff, you know what, and that camaraderie of working together and the idea of, you know, I'm doing something that very few people do on this planet. I thought it was really cool. So as I'm watching the movie and I'm looking at it and I'm going, wow, that's cool. All the hard work they put in physically, all the hard work they put in mentally, all the challenging aspect of what they did with each other. They challenged each other to be better. And if they weren't, they'd let them know, you guys really were terrible today. You got to get better. And they didn't let anybody down. And some people didn't make it. You couldn't cut it. You're done. It says, I want to do that. I want to challenge in life. I don't want to just go in a job where I already know I got it and I can do the things. No, I want to challenge. I want to challenge myself. And so I just can sense the more I watch that movie, the more I says, I want to go try that. I want to see if I can do that. I want to be challenged in life that way. And so as the movie went on, and you're watching them at the beginning, and they're doing their job, and it's cool. But now they're going to Top Gun. And as they get to Top Gun, you're the best of the best. I'm thinking, that is so cool. I want to be the best of the best at whatever I do. I didn't even care what it was. And so it could have been flying in the military, which was what I did. But it could have been something else. Didn't matter. It talked to me in a way that said, I want to be the best at what I do, or one of the best. I want to be a world class at what I do. And so it really just spoke to me right there and says, okay, I want to be that person. But then the thing that really hit me even again is he got knocked down. He got knocked down and he had to find how to work through a difficult time where his buddy died and he thought it was his fault. It wasn't his fault, but he thought it was. He took it extremely personal. He says, I don't know if I can do this ever again. And he had to go through the point of getting with more friends and find a way to persevere through something that he said, I don't know if I can do. And again, it even hit me harder. I says, holy smokes, that is cool, you know, to work through something. And I'll tell you, in my life, I've had to go through things like that, to where I got knocked down and I says, can I get up and go do that? And I come back to that movie, even though now I look back, it's a little bit cheesy movie, it is, but I like it. But I look back and I says, you know what, that kind of made me, in a way, more of who I am, or showed me who I wanted to be, more than I already knew I wanted to do a lot of those things, but it kind of said, I can do that. I want to take that myself and challenge myself to do that. And so that one movie did it. There were other movies that are probably like that, similar to that. I always tend to be around adventure movies, those kind of things where I'm outside or I'm doing something with my body and my mind at the same time. Like me and Kaylee were just talking, and we're saying, you know, she wants to make sure that the career option she's going into is really the one she wants, not just because of money or what the world says to do. What does God really want her to do? And so we're talking. I says, you know, as funny as that sounds, this movie, I think at that particular time in life was put there so I could see some direction in my life. And so sometimes I think media can really, really play right into hitting you right where you're living. And I'm sure different movies hit different people in different ways. Or maybe even a radio show you listen to. Or it could be a class that you take, and it could be something that you saw on the media as they were showing the class. It could be all kinds of different things that hit people in a different way. But for me, that's what it did. It kind of said, you know what? I don't care what it takes. I'm willing to sacrifice to go do that. And I did. And it was one of the hardest things, but one of the most rewarding things I did in my life, is go through a military flight school and become a pilot, a helicopter pilot in the military. And I don't want to sound arrogant here, but at the time, from 25 years old to about 30-year-old, I was one of the best helicopter pilots in the Army. I just was. And people knew it. And I had to make a decision after that. Okay, at 30 years old, do I stay in the military for a career, or do I get out and do something different And the reason I chose at that point to get out and go do something different, because I could still be a pilot in the National Guard part-time, but that were the requirements of me taking away the time from my family. I mean, I was barely home. And so I didn't marry the Army, I married my wife. And so that was a tough decision too. And so going through a tough time like that, where I was like, wow, I'm leaving something I really love, but you know what, God's got other things for me, other plans for me. So going through the tough time like he did in that movie, I says, you know what, even though I know it was fake, I can do it too. So it really was a movie that affected my life at the point of where I was in my life at that time.